Welcome to the Developer Spotlight on the Full Dive Gaming Podcast. In the Developer Spotlight, we sit down with VR industry professionals. Today, we're actually sitting here with Michael Schwantner, co-founder and CTO of the new mixed reality fitness game, XRWorkout. Michael, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, we're excited. And while we're saying thank you, of course, we got to thank the sponsor of our podcast, long-term supporter here, Asterion Products. They make VR accessories, headstands, mats, all kinds of cool stuff. If you use code FULLDIVE10, you're going to save an extra 10% on Amazon on us. Michael, we're super excited to talk about this today, but there are probably people out there who have never heard of XRWorkout. How do you describe it to them when they don't know what it is?
It's a fitness tool. It's a game, but it's also a tool in your fitness belt. So we don't expect you to only use VRWorkout. We expect you to have it as a part of your routine. So it's kind of a mix between, obviously, the rhythm game, Beat Saber, everybody knows it. So it's a rhythm-based fitness game, but it's more full body. So we're really trying to kind of get you moving, not just with your hands, but with your whole body, with your head, with your feet, with everything. We try to call it Beat Saber for Navy SEALs, which is, I mean, a bit of a strong word. But if for people who never used VR, I would say the closest thing is, like, when you have those dancing instructions where you have like feet on the floor and you kind of know how to follow it. It's the same thing, but in 3D. So we are giving you positions of your hand and your head and your feet, soon your feet as well, and basically get you moving and get you to the movements we want you to do. And it's really fun. So that's why you move a lot.
Talking about the name of the game, because sometimes we have questions about what it's called or how to pronounce it. So in this case, I've seen the game called XRWorkout and VRWorkout. Which name is the right name? Are both names okay? What's the deal here?
So the name will be XRWorkout. So it's perfectly fine when you call it VRWorkout. The logo will change. Everything will go to XRWorkout. It's actually also the name of our company. So it's always been XRWorkout in the background, but the game was VRWorkout because I'm a software developer, not a game developer, a software developer. That's why the naming is usually very on the nose. So it's like not really an imaginative name. There's also another thing, which is nobody really knows if there is a space between VR or XRWorkout or not. And we actually don't know either because we had it we started it off without the space as a single word, but Meta simply kept referring to us as VR space workout. So at some point we kind of adapted that, and that's why it's kind of moved toward XR space workout. But it's like we're still trying to get our space away. So we're still trying to get the single word.
Apparently, they sometimes make decisions for you. We're going to put a space in here for you. You don't have a choice. Well, yeah, I've done a little bit of time in XRWorkout. For people out there who are listening, kind of wondering, well, what is it? Why is it called VRWorkout versus XRWorkout? So it's because you have the option in this game. You can play this game in full VR immersive mode, or you can switch over to an AR XR style where you're seeing your real world environment around you, but still in front of you, you're seeing your virtual avatar, your instructional avatar that's showing you what's next. And this incorporates all kinds of exercises. I mean, you're talking at one moment you're jogging, the next moment you're doing physical jumping, you're switching over to burpees, push-ups. It's like a full body workout. And it usually uses your hands instead of controllers. But there's so many fitness apps out there. Some, like Beat Saber you mentioned, isn't a fitness app, it's a game. Some, like Supernatural, are just a fitness app. So what inspired you to create XRWorkout itself?
I mean, the nice thing there is I built it for myself. So, and I think if you build a product for yourself, then you always have this drive to keep working on it, even if the market goes up or down. You're still always building, and it's still built for myself. So especially in the beginning, a lot of people were kind of following my fitness progress because I was like in Discord and people were using it, and they the game got harder and harder and harder as I progressed, and people moved with me. So it was a really interesting thing because we had like people always at the edge of what the game could ask from you. But it was developed for myself. So I was like, it was still before COVID. So it was like 2019 when the Quest 1 came out like a year ago or so, and I started with Box VR on my PC with my old headset, and I thought that's it. That's the thing that keeps me doing fitness forever. So that's like I thought that's really, I mean, VR and fitness is it works for a lot of people, and it really worked really well for me. So I was like doing endless sessions of Box VR. Then the problem is since you're doing only fitboxing, you progress, but you reach a plateau. At some point, you either go for endless long sessions, or you find a way to make it harder. What people back then did to make it harder was either add weights, which was kind of frowned upon, or use resistance bands. First I built myself some resistance bands, and then there are those from Amazon you can buy those MMA resistance bands kits, which you have a belt on, and you have like wrist straps, and you can connect them, which is a really, really intense workout. So that works really well. The problem is they're all like those metal hooks, and I usually work out in the evening. And if I'm clanking around, then my wife's going to throw me out. So that wasn't an option for long. And I was like, okay, but I did a lot of body weight exercises before, just for myself, like also following YouTube tutorials and everything. So where you try to use your room just to keep fit. And I have no problem doing hard workouts or hard exercises, but I have a problem sticking to them. So I have no problem if I don't know what's coming. I'm doing hard shit, but if I know what's coming, then it's like you're always dreading this. Damn it, what's coming? And I thought, like, okay, how can I combine a kind of find a way to use those bodyweight exercises to make the VR harder, and also have a fun way to work out, which didn't work at all, because like doing push-ups with the Vive controllers, that's just not possible. So I kind of ditched that idea, and later in the year, then Meta came out with hand tracking, and it was like, okay, that could actually be the thing that makes this whole thing work. And late 2019, we released the first version on SideQuest, which was one of the first hand tracking games. And its hand tracking back then was, I mean, it was a novelty, but it wasn't really good. It was really slow. But that was kind of also a good thing, because we kind of developed all movements that you currently have in the game around those limitations. So while hand tracking got better, we got better with it, because the game automatically, if everything works better, then everything worked better. And that's how everything started. And then COVID came around, and basically everybody jumped on the home fitness train, which is already big before, but it's like the new thing. And we actually released So we actually released 4 months before Supernatural. Obviously, we didn't have the same trajectory they had, but it was a lot of people kind of looked for stuff that you can do at home, and a lot of people also looked at us, and that's how it started. It started off as an open source project, because I was a bit worried about liability and everything. That's how it started.
Nice. And so, speaking of Supernatural and other VR fitness apps, what sets XRWorkout apart from these other VR fitness apps like Supernatural or Box VR and things like that?
So Supernatural is, I would say, the next logical step after Beat Saber. So that's like, you are using Beat Saber, you've reached your limit, now you go to Supernatural. I mean, from an intensity perspective. It's still the same mechanic. It's still a lot more polished, but it's still the same principle. What we are trying to do, so since we're using hand tracking and full body exercises, we are trying to kind of be the next step after that. So you will reach your plateau in Supernatural as well, unless you go for endless sessions. So you need some next thing you can do that's even more intense. And we're really trying to push what you can do with movements in VR. So Jay already mentioned it. You can do jumping. The burpees is like, we don't really recommend burpees for beginners, but we have a lot of users who actually did their very first burpee in VR, because what the game does, it basically tells you, put your head here, put your head here, put your head here. So you stop really thinking about what you do, and you just follow it. So even if the exercise is hard, you just do it. And that's the same thing that I used for myself. The game is, it has similar concepts, if necessary, to what you have from Supernatural, where you have a completely scripted workout. But that's really not the rule, but the exception. You can actually save a workout and have this or you could in theory even build it yourself. We don't have the tools officially yet, but you could build it completely. But the whole idea is that the game decides everything for you. So you just tell it what kind of exercises you want to do, what music you want to do, and then the game creates the workout for you while you're doing it. This has the benefit that no workout is the same. So it keeps, even if you use the same song and do it over and over and over again, it's always going to be a different workout. And if you have a heart rate sensor, then you can even have it adapt to your physical performance. So you just could tell it a target heart rate. And since the game creates the workout while you're doing it, it can adapt it while you're doing it. So if your heart rate gets too high, it can dial it back. If it gets too low, it can increase it. So I would say the difference is here that it's really more a fitness tool, more like a home trainer than like an actual game or something. It obviously has the game aspects, and Jay, you mentioned it in your review that it doesn't. It's basically doing the music and the workout separate. That's not actually quite true. It depends on which songs you're using, because since the game creates the workout while you're doing the workout, while you're doing it, we kind of don't have the same freedom than you would have if you have everything preset. So the game tries to, if it has the beat information from the built-in songs, it tries to keep all the movements on beat, but it has to have the ability to break that, because if you're doing an exercise that simply doesn't work because the beat isn't there where it should be, then it has to break the rule and has to kind of create a new one. But if you use the correct songs and you have a good workout, then you actually have those like jumping. You're jumping around is like you're standing in a concert and you're jumping around to the music, because the beats are the jumps are timed to the music. So but overall it's a tool. It's a fitness first and game second. I would say FitXR is also pretty close in that way, but we're still trying to be kind of ahead of them. So we're trying not ahead of obviously FitXR is the gold standard at the moment of how fitness games are, how people enjoy fitness games. But technically, we're trying to be ahead of that. So we first of all, the hand tracking, which is like hand tracking is the core aspect for us. So it's not you can do it with hand tracking. It's more like you could do it with controllers if you really, really want to, but you should really use hand tracking. We are one of the very few which was pretty interesting, that are using your head actually, which is something that I thought would come much earlier, but nobody really takes up the head as the third input point. And again, with the heart rate tracking, we're trying to be a bit of a technical leader in this part.
Yeah. And something I want to touch on, something that you talked about there. So you referenced, I haven't actually reviewed XRWorkout, but I talked about it in a fitness video. And I said that one problem that you run into is that the music isn't necessarily always synced, but that's because you've given too much freedom in a way. So this game will let you search anything on YouTube, any song, and put it in, which is an awesome feature because it means you can listen to any music you want to play. And it sounds like from what you're saying, it does its best. Like, okay, I'm going to try to make this match the beat. But if you pick a song that's got like 120 beats per minute, it's probably going to be a little more attuned than if you pick one with like 50 beats a minute. Like, how can you work out to that? So it sounds like the game is trying, but users can pick any song on YouTube and bring it in. Sometimes you'll get the wrong version. You know, YouTube has a million versions of every song. But I know that you put a lot of development to that. That wasn't easy to do, and you're still kind of trying to perfect that system. Tell us about the problems of developing that and how you're making that work.
That's actually so this YouTube feature is like something obviously everybody likes that. I mean, it's like perfect. The beats in this part, they are coming from the server, but we're currently not that's currently not implemented, because getting the beats out of the so yeah, I meant the actually built-in songs. But for the YouTube player, what we are doing is you can even use it in multiplayer. So what we are doing is we are starting the YouTube song on every player at the same time, so that you can actually use a YouTube song in multiplayer. We are trying to the game obviously uses a web view in the background, like all the other games as well. But we are actually trying to get the time code, so the game advances at the same time as the YouTube. So it's not just playing the YouTube song, but it's actually syncing the time code back into the game. So from this perspective, it's the same thing as a normal song. Obviously, with a bit more effort to actually getting running. If you're playing it, so you actually have 3 ways to play a YouTube song in the Quest, because obviously playing like a HD video from YouTube kind of taxes the system a lot. So you have the ability to actually only have the music and just turn off the video. So if you're more into your experience, then you would probably just turn that off and it would just play it in the background. But we just recently, I'm not sure if you saw that, added the cinema mode, where you actually can. So normally the YouTube plays to your side. It's just if you wanna interact with it, then you click on it or anything. But in the new cinema mode, you actually have it in front of you, like a cinema-sized screen in front of you, and that's actually. I mean, a lot of people. Some people told me that probably it's distracting, but I have to say, every time I'm using it like this way, it feels like if you have a really good song on it and you have this video in front of it and you're moving to it, then it's like gives you goosebumps, because it's like it's everything fits together, and that's yeah.
Mm-hmm. That kind of reminds me of like Dance Dance Revolution. I used to have the like home version of that as a kid, and that was really cool. It was kind of a similar thing because it's like you have it on the TV and you're like dancing to it, it just kind of brings you in more. I feel like that's not distracting. I think it makes it more fun. So I like that it has that feature. I would love to hear more about the community workouts. How does that, can you tell us more about how that works? Are you like seeing the other people? I haven't used that feature yet.
Yeah, so at the moment, we had to up our rooms from 8 to 15 because our rooms kept filling up. The community workout is the host is always creating the workout. So you're creating a workout, you make it public. And people can join and leave as they want. So they can join mid-session. Obviously, they can't get the full points if they join halfway through the session, but they have the same workout as you. You can also leave and come back. You see other players on 2 platforms in front of you. They are filled up, so that until all the 14 other players are filled up. You see at the moment their head and their fists. We are currently working on adding the Ready Player Me avatar so that they can actually personalize them. But the thing is, you can hear them, you can see them, and that's actually all the fun because if someone starts doing exercise, and it's actually the thing is, it's kind of insanely fun because you hear other people struggling and you hear them having fun, and it's like it's like the audio chat is interesting at the beginning, but becomes more like a fun game after when everybody's just punting and yeah, screaming and everything. That's the community workouts work actually that way. So it's not in the game yet because it's only in the backend, but you can check your leaderboard that if you're multiplayer host, you get all the points of your community. So that because we are going to add a community leaderboard where people who are doing multiplayer workouts kind of rank and can win prizes. And so the intention there is to get more people, get people in and have fun with them, and then their points contribute to your points. So we're really trying to find mechanics that keep people doing multiplayer workouts because it is doing fitness together. It's just something different than doing fitness alone. And obviously, many people just don't want that. But some people, and we heard that a lot from that think about going to the gym, have this social anxiety. So either they don't want other people, or they have like body image issues or something. So that there is a barrier that they actually would want to do that, but they can't. And if you can be anything, like in VR chat, like you can be a 10 feet robot or something, then I mean nobody cares how you look. And I think that's really a thing that works a lot. Works really well for people doing fitness in VR. And multiplayer fitness specifically. So we even had a workout with someone from NASA. So with a flight surgeon from NASA.
Oh wow!
So it's like because we're working on maybe getting a workout into space. So that's the far off goal. But that kind of encapsulates that you can work out with anybody, everywhere, every time.
That's nice. And I like too how it brings in like the group workout feel without having to necessarily like go to the gym, or if you have like barriers to get you to the gym, you can still have that kind of group feel, which is nice. I know a lot of people like the group workouts, so that's a really cool feature.
Yeah, I like that. And so far, we've heard that your game is kind of touted as, or known as in its community, as the most effective workout in virtual reality. What do you think? Why would people say that? What makes it the best?
The best, I would say, I mean, the most effective, kind of a lot of people tell about themselves that they are most effective. I think we can be called the most effective simply by the speed at which you get physically exerted with it. So it's not meant to be a 1 hour workout. I mean, some people do it, but the actual the average workout time is between 8 and 12 minutes. And after 8 and 12 minutes, usually you are so exhausted that it's fine. And there's this exercise science that tells us short, intense workouts have the same effectiveness with compared to a long cardio workout. So and for your heart, maybe even better. So I think that this since we almost have no barrier. So as I said, with every fitness game, you kind of reach a plateau. But in VRWorkout, there is almost no barrier. So there's almost always a way to scale it up. So if you go from easy to hard, that's one thing, but also adding faster songs, adding more intense exercises, soon also even weights. So there is like, you can do all the things that are intense to your body, and that's why it's effective. And the thing that everybody does, but also helps us, is since you're in a different space, in a different world, it's all the distractions that you usually always try to get you away from doing your workout are gone. Which is, I mean, that's true for all exercise games. That you do longer workouts, that you willing to do more intense things, because it's like there isn't always this little man telling you, hey, stop it. And I think that's why those things combined is why it's really one of the most effective, even if not the most effective.
Nice. That's really cool. I like the idea of there being an option for adding weights in soon. That's really cool. Can you tell us more about the different pricing tiers for XR Workout and how people can get into it?
So the basic and the thing that I would say 99% of users are using is the free one. So we really try to have a workout that's free for everybody, because that shouldn't be a barrier. So it shouldn't be a barrier for you to get into your habit, into doing a workout. So the basic version is you have 8 minutes of workout free each day. So that's forever. You don't need to register for it. Anything, you can just keep doing that forever. If you reach your limit, and warm-ups and intro stuff doesn't count towards that. So if you if you do warm-up, that doesn't count towards your minutes. And there's even a way to actually get almost 60 minutes out of it, because we are actually checking if your budget is expired and not if you still have enough budget for that session left. So you could do 7 minutes and then do 8 minutes and you actually get 50 minutes. So and I don't have any intentions of fixing that at the moment, because that's no point.
Nice little hack for everybody listening.
Exactly. But the more important thing is that we give you a lot of features if you do multiplayer hosting. So for the time you host multiplayer sessions, you have the playlist available. You have no time limitation. And you can do the custom exercises. So almost all the features you get in the paid version, you get if you host multiplayer workouts. The intention being, if you contribute to the community, then you're getting stuff for free. And at the moment, the priced version is like almost standard subscription with $9.99 a month and $98.99 per year. Although we have already learned, like almost all other subscriptions, that's probably not going to work, because people are willing to pay, but they are not willing to subscribe. So there will be pretty soon a version in between that where you can actually buy. You will get, at the moment, is we're still figuring it out. It's probably going to be, you're getting an unlimited, you're buying a version forever, and you get 5 hours per week workout for free. Because if you're working out more than 5 hours per week, then you're probably better off with the subscription plan. But I think most people will just be fine with that, and that's probably going to be somewhere between $20 and $30. And additional stuff will then be purchasable for whatever. Yeah. So things like the heart rate tracking and probably the foot tracking is going to stay in the subscription for now. And also we are working on like the robots currently are kind of passive, but you can already, in the beta version, you can already talk to them. So you can give them commands. You can change your workout while you're working out. So you say, remove burpees, add sprinting, so that it kind of, you can, you don't have to go back and do your workout again. You just do a long workout and just change it up while you're doing it. And what you will be able to do is tell it where you want to work out. So like, those Skybox creators, we're going to connect that. So they tell the robot, I want to work out on Mars with Princess Castle and whatever, and it will make it, and then you will work out in this space. But that's going to be a subscription, because that costs a lot of money to actually run in the background.
That makes sense. I love that there will be there's like these different, there's the free version, there will be a version that you just buy and it's yours, and then there's a subscription, because I know like you said, a lot of people are like, oh my gosh, subscriptions, because there's so many things now that have subscriptions. You can only do so many before you're out of money for the month. So it's nice that you have all those different options and you're really making it accessible for people. So I appreciate that. That's nice.
Yeah, it's good to hear. It sounds like you've been going for, you said 2019, about 4 years now. Is there any member testimonials, success stories, anything personal you'd like to share with us?
Obviously, we had a lot of people already give us feedback, but one of the most important ones for myself was back in 2021. It was still the old version, so when we were still on App Lab, it was built with Godot engine, not with Unity. And we had a user who felt the need to actually approach me because he wanted to thank me for that. He has this, I can't quite remember what it is. It's like this on the feet, there's like this something with the bones. I can't remember what it was. It was something that it really made it hard for him to actually move. But he was really he had it under control before COVID started, because he did a lot of fitness. Then you locked in at home, and then it got really worse. And he started using VRWorkout. It was like he was like way above my level. It was like almost 300. So 300 means he did 300 days of workout in a row without missing a single day. And he was like going crazy on it. And he kept telling me how much better he felt. And he like, and then he told me that his son has type 1 diabetes, like 12-year-old son. And when he got worse, his son kind of reflected on his own morbidity or mortality, because like type 1 diabetes, like there is like the chance of bad outcome. And he was like getting depressed himself. And when he saw his father getting better, he kind of started cheering him on. And that dynamic, that him getting better, his son getting his spirits up, that really gave me this feeling that we're actually making something that helps people. That's really good for people. And we had a lot of those stories where people are telling us, we had someone who had a shoulder injury, and he used it for his rehabilitation, which I really would only recommend if you know what you're doing, because we are an intense workout, and we currently don't have a way of limiting the movement to some. So we will have that in the future, because we're also thinking about medical applications, so that you can actually kind of say my shoulder, my right arm hasn't this range of movements, you can limit it, but that's not possible at the moment. So you really should know what you're doing. But we have a lot of those stories where people are telling us that either they lost weight, which you also see a lot on Reddit, on other fitness games, that because I don't think you're losing weight because of the exercise. You're losing the weight because your mindset changes. So your mindset to your whole health and to your whole eating and everything, diet changes with exercise. I think that's the big thing. Yeah.
That's so true. We've really found that, because we really enjoy exercise. And, you always kind of go in those phases of like being more into it and less into it. But you really do notice, like, when you're exercising, it makes you more aware of your body and what it needs. So you're like, oh, I need to be eating things that fuel my body well so that I can do this exercise, and you notice when you're not. So I think that's really true, and it really is helpful to like have this accessible way to get into fitness, and then just, all these things can change from there. So that's really great to hear.
It's weird. It's such an odd conundrum with the human body, and how it's like, if you sit all day, you can eat a whole bag of chips and you don't really notice it makes you feel like crap. But all of a sudden you start working out and you eat that same full bag of chips and you're like, wow, I feel bad now. It's like, it's such an odd thing. But
you're just changing one mental balsam, a mental healing thing for the other. So when you're seeing the eating the food is kind of it helps you kind of feel better. But when the exercise does that, there is no need for the bag of chips to help you feel better. So it kind of gets worse.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Well, we've covered a lot of stuff, but is there anything else that we didn't cover that you'd like to share with our listeners?
I mean, I'm not sure how interested you are into what's coming in the future. So that's obviously the next steps. Obviously the Quest 3 launch, which a lot of games are working towards, and we are just at the edge of at the end of the QA. We still have to do a few things where we we already have the mixed reality mode that's going to expand quite a bit with Quest 3 launch. So you're going to add your room. You really add to your room, so you will be able to do chair dips, and you will be able to do wall sits. So you're marking a wall, you're marking a chair, and it will include this in your workout. And in the future, we will add other things. We actually wanted to add stairs for stepping, but Meta, when we proposed it to them, they said no, we can't really track that, so we had to remove it. We could actually now do it, and we will probably do it, because we also always try to use things people already have. So also like the heart rate tracking and the body tracking uses your phone, so you don't need to do any heart rate tracking. It kind of uses the phone to connect it to the Quest. Obviously, you need some heart rate tracking device. But we try to keep to first of all have a way for users to kind of grow into it. So you can use it with everything you have, and you can add stuff to it, so that the workout gets better, more intense, more varied. But not blocking out the users who don't have all those additional things. So the mixed reality exercise, also the mixed reality mode at the moment, you saw it. It's kind of this fixed portal in front of you. That's going to be with the Quest Pro and the Quest 3, you will actually be able to have it aligned to your walls. So this portal is not just sticking into your wall and kind of not really behaving correctly. I can see in the video afterwards. It's like really aligning to your wall, which makes it a lot more believable. So if this portal, like I have a few videos on YouTube where I'm actually touching this terminate the line between your real world and the virtual world, and that's so surreal if you have something there and it kind of fades into your virtual world. So that's going to be the immediate things, and that, as I said, the weight tracking is going to be later in the year, towards the end of the year, where we will actually. I mean, there is currently one other app that uses weight tracking, which is Lightsport, but they are actually doing it more in a way where you have a trainer, your trainer in mixed reality in front of you who does something, and you are kind of doing the same thing, but it's not really tracked. So it's like, and we've been working with Meta, with the body tracking team, to actually use that to really track your movement, and that when it's finished, it's going to be a real weight training where it's actually adapting to your how good you are, and trying to give you keep the same mechanic with you are actually hitting things, but adapting it to the weights and to your body.
Nice. Cool. Lots of stuff coming up. Very exciting.
Bright future ahead. Well, of course, we're going to make sure for everybody out there listening, if you want to check this out, there's going to be links in the description, in the show notes, and there's the free version to check out. So there's really no reason to not at least give it a try and see if you want to take it that step further with the subscription. Thank you so much again, Michael. It's been a pleasure to have you on.
Thank you. It was really fun. It was fun.
Woohoo!
Hey, and remember, if you're out there, you're listening to this podcast, come over to our YouTube channel. If you haven't been here in a while, you'll see some demos up here. Like Michael said, we're going to get some little videos, hopefully, of the future stuff that's coming up too, so you can kind of see what we're talking about in person. But if you're on YouTube and you want to take us on the go, we're on every single platform, I think, including Audible. So check us out. And if you've been thinking about VR, especially in the world of VR fitness, it might be time to dive on in.
Dive on in.